Okay. All right. Y'all good?
Cool. Gerrod, first off, how's your heart rate after the end of that one?
Oh man, it's funny. I've played, my wife plays, that putt that she had on 10 to win it first hole playoff, man, I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. And then, I did it again on 17, but it's funny, you're alive. I'll tell you that.
What does this say about your team? When you go not only today, but just to get to the finals, you had two matches in playoff holes. I mean, the fact that you played so much just to get to this point.
Yeah, we wear the block tee for a reason. It's for talent, toughness, and together. And I think we exemplified that this week. We started with that motto last year, and it's just kind of stuck with us. So I think it just speaks so much to them, their maturity, the experience that we gained last year in match play, being able to get invited to East Lake at the end of the fall, and learn in that situation. I mean, we got drummed by Auburn in the final match, but just to see them, just in the South Carolina and Mississippi State match, just seems so similar. Like we're pretty much in control, and then started to slip away. They gain momentum. And then next thing you know, bam, it's over. And we had a putt to win it on 17 with Zoe 3-footer. And it's just crazy. Her match was just so back and forth too on that back nine too. So it's crazy to say we're sitting here SEC champions.
Yeah, what was going through your mind when it came down? You knew it was coming down to Zoe and those playoff holes.
Yeah, it's interesting because you start out and we looked. It was every arrow was leaning our way, and you just know that there's a lot of golf left to be played. And match play is such a beast. It's just as hard to win a match and close a match as it is just the momentum to switch and turn around and flip one. So it's never over to the last putt. Gio and I thought Haley and Zoe's matches were going to be key. Jenny getting a big win early helped to get that, that point. So it's just funny how hard it is to get 3 points in match play.
What do you think it says about Zoe? Like you said, I know you were with her pretty much the whole back nine. Just to not only bounce back, not only from the missed chance in the second playoff hole, but like you said, the whole back nine, she was leading the whole time. Wasn't able to extend, and then other girl makes a putt, and now you got to go to playoffs, and just the mental toughness.
Sure. Man, Zoe and I have a lot of history from recruiting her to Houston. Two things. We're encouraging her to step forward and be her true self, and being able to accept that spotlight and shine that spotlight. I didn't want that match to come down to her missing that 3-footer on 10, because it would have changed her life. Just how she's wired and a pleaser, and just who she is as a person. So for her to have another chance and get to make one to win a championship for her team, hopefully that propels her. And there's going to be great learning lessons for her in this whole experience. But I didn't want it to come down to that. And Charlie didn't either. He and I are very close friends, and this is the way we want it to be. Extra holes for an SEC championship. We couldn't have wrote the script any better. The young lady hit a great putt out of a horrible lie on 17, and then Zoe hit a great lag putt up there and got some redemption.
And you touched on it too, but I'm not sure. I can't remember if you were following her at all. But Jenny, just off to like one of the best starts I think I've seen ever in match play. Just what was it like just kind of seeing those scores come in?
If Jenny's honest with you, she hadn't won very many matches up to this weekend. And so for her to get a big win yesterday and then a massive win today, winning a match is so hard. It doesn't mean you play bad if you lose. But for her to get 2 big wins for us this weekend, I think is going to give her some extra confidence as we hopefully get back to Greyhawk, and she can be a huge asset for us there.
And on TV.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. On TV, we kept seeing Zoe's mom there, cheering. What was just the support like there this week and during?
Tyler, we were outnumbered. There was have you ever heard a male barking like a dog for about 4 hours? That's we heard a lot of it today. There wasn't very many Aggies in Birmingham, but hopefully we felt the love of the 12th man in those extra holes. But having her there, Coffee, Zoe's mom, is an Aggie, ran track at A&M, and she's here because Zoe's always wanted to be an Aggie, and that opportunity wasn't presented to her out of high school. So for them to have that moment, and that in history really of our program, Zoe's the first African American in our program history. So there's so many cool firsts for Zoe, and I'm so happy for her.
What just the start you guys had, especially, I know they ended up dropping points, but the way Adela and Bianca came out, given how much golf they had to play yesterday, just what did you like with how you saw you guys were able to get rolling with an early start time, and then, like you said, finish out the match?
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround. We had to eat so quick, and honestly, Gio and I were scrambling to try and figure out our pairings. You're getting off the golf course late. I think Mississippi State was done an hour before we got done. So, I knew Adela, and, Adela was playing SEC champion in her match. I knew her and Blanca would have, I think Abby was 2-0. I knew they'd have tough matches. And if they could just stay in it, and they both would admit they made a lot of silly mistakes to probably give up their match or lose their match. So we knew those other three were going to be so important. So that's why Gio and I kind of hung around them most of the day. But, if I go back, when I have time to go back and look at it, everybody was such a huge contributor to winning points for us to get to this point. And, I said earlier with Brandon in the week that we have a 6-person here, which we normally don't travel with a substitute. Atlanta Calabuso Cui amplified the 12th man today, just was ready to go whenever her name was called. A couple times we thought about substituting and just went with our gut, but she was ready to go, and she was such a cheerleader this week. So she is just as much a part of this as anybody else, and as MVP, just like anybody that won a point.
And I know you said you didn't want it to come down to Zoe missing the putt and have that kind of decided, but what was it like to see, especially the way it played out, to have the whole team be able to congregate to see her have that moment?
It's great. And I tell you what, believe it or not, we work on those all the time in practice. So, that'll be a great point of reference for a long time for us, is, just putting and wedges. We still, when we struggle, that's what's our MO. And we gave up a lot of holes, I thought, this weekend in that fashion. So it's still going to be, the same message when we get back. Even though we won a championship, you're going to be able to point to a lot of things that we can get better, and that's one of them. So I'm thankful she had another one to be able to right the ship, and even if it was sent into extra holes, I was just glad she's going to be able to have another one, because somebody was going to have to make a putt to win a championship. So I'm glad she got that out of the way. But to think that that's how we would win an SEC championship is crazy to me.
What does winning an SEC championship kind of mean for this program? I know last year you guys already made a name for yourselves, but just to prove that, hey, this is sustainable, this is kind of what we're going to be for the future.
For sure. We've talked a lot about validation this year, that we're not going to rest on our laurels. Our young ladies are very humble, but they set the bar last year, first year out, whether it's fair or not to have to, after the first year, to try and live up to that. But the crazy thing is, to me, 2 years ago, this program was 90th in the country, and a lot of people took a chance on each other and have bought in, and that Mississippi State has a very tight bunch. You can tell they really enjoy each other's company, and I would say the same so for ours. In my years of coaching, I've never had a team top to bottom that truly got along and truly cared for each other. And so I think that's what has helped us raise the bar a little higher. But yeah, I don't know it's 5 or 6 wins this year. It's crazy. But I don't know. We'll go to work tomorrow, and just keep chipping away at whatever's to come. But yeah, when I was hired, if you'd have told me 2 years from now we'd win an SEC championship and finish in the semis one year, I'd have called you crazy.
Awesome. That's good for me. Thanks, Coach.
All good.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank-
fellas.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much for covering us this week.
Of
Yeah,
course.
congrats.
Thanks.